Hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
Come on!
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
And
Now, our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. I love that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Thursday, February 24th, 2022, in the year of our Lord. It's a beautiful Thursday. I got KP Stratman hanging out. Dexter Hill.
Hello.
Christopher Teefel. Donnie P will be joining us and some other special guests in just a moment. Welcome to the show, everybody. There's Donnie P. Hi, Donnie P. Let's do this.
Andrew Z. In the morning.
Woo! Oh, good, Donnie. KP, let me start with you real quick. You have I don't know if your parents got paid by the letter, but you have too many letters in your name. Like I can say you could get rid of one A, you could get rid of one N. You could save yourself a lot in if they pay per letter, like for embroidering, you could save a lot of money. Just get rid of the A and N and still have the exact.
Yeah, but then it won't be pronounced the same way.
Yeah, it would.
No, because if you get rid of one of the A's, it just becomes strat instead of strat, and then you get rid of one of the N's. The double letters tell you to elongate a little bit.
Oh, Stratman.
Yeah, you gotta take that with my husband. It's his last name, so.
Oh, that's true.
I disagree. I think you should add one more A.
That'd be fun. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, I think you should. Maybe you should. I gotta say hi to Larissa, who's listening this morning. South Texas, 36 today. 36.
Ooh, whoa!
Wow.
What?
Ohio's expecting another storm tonight into tomorrow. Whoa, KP, where are we going?
Yucky.
Sorry.
You're all right. Hi, Donnie.
Good morning.
All right, so weather's going to be hitting here, like I said, tonight, 6 p.m. till tomorrow morning. One more dose of winter for Ohio. God, I hate winter. Me being a California guy, I'll never get used to winter. I hate it. But
do you like it for like a week?
How long have you lived here?
Since 2005.
Okay, so you have lived here for 17 years. Get over it.
Oh.
Winters in different places, though. They're so different. Like Chicago winter and Missouri winter are stupid different.
Really?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, the cold here is so inconsistent. Like you can't even adapt.
Well, here's the problem with our area is that to me it's the wind. Like I can handle the cold, I can handle all that, but the wind just cuts you, man. And
I agree.
It just gets really bad. We're in like a wind tunnel where we're at, and it just beats you. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Oh, you sound good. Wow. I don't know what you're doing over there, but Mike sounds good.
I'm drinking coffee.
All right. So let's talk real quick about war. So overnight it happened. Crazy Putin, unprovocated. Ukraine didn't do anything. It's kind of sad. They went to Ukraine, a sovereign country, a democratic country, and before it happened, hours before it happened overnight, but hours before it happened, the Ukrainian president goes on television and basically in Russian says, "Man, what are you doing?" He tried to call Putin. Putin wouldn't take his call. He's like, "What are you doing?" Trying to appeal to the Russian people. And, they did nothing wrong other than just be themselves. And they have now been invaded. Dozens of people have been killed already. Ukrainians have been killed already. It's just
they shot down a few planes and a helicopter, though.
Ukrainians did? Well, they're not going down without a fight, but they're just so overmatched by what's going on. And like I said, it's just sad because they didn't do it. Like they don't want. Like we want peace. We just want peace. That's all we want. We want to live here in peace. And Putin just is not having it. He just wants to go in and squash them. It's kind of sad. Go ahead, Dexter.
I just find it utterly appalling that Putin decided to do this like overnight, this past night, when we were about to do this show this morning. Like, how dare he? That was
Right?
just rude.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we are not war analysts, so
No.
to break that news on our asses was very uncalled for.
So
Put me
inconsiderate.
past you. I know it's so inconsiderate. I agree. KP, what's going on? Are you feeling okay? Because for a couple weeks you had some stuff going on.
Oh yeah, I apparently had an allergic reaction to my face wash, and it's a prescribed face wash. It's a like sodium sulfide something or another, and it has a delayed reaction. So I washed my face in the morning, and then in the afternoon just started with bumps, and then of course, like any logical person, I start washing my face with it like 3 times a day because there's no immediate like, oh, this burns, I shouldn't do this. It just got worse and worse and worse. My dermatologist said, yeah, stop using that, and now I only have a little bit like on my neck a little bit now, but thank you to hydrocortisone.
I felt so bad for you because it was just like red. Your whole face was just red.
Oh, so bad. It was so bad. Like my face was bad, but then once it got to my neck, it was just bright red, and it wasn't painful, but it looked just so painful. And I had not as many people stared as I thought that they would, because I still had to go to work. And so I tried wearing like a scarf, and that didn't work out.
It's funny. I've only had allergic reaction twice to where like my whole face just redded up and everything. It was ridiculous. And the first time we didn't know what it was, but I actually had my doctor came over. He's a friend of mine, came over to my house and stuck a cortisone shot in my ass in my kitchen. It was very awkward.
How big of a needle was that?
Huge.
Was it Dr. Knopf's?
Yes, it was Dr.
I love him. He's the best. He's our doctor too. I could just tell that that's something he would do. Like he's just like, yes, I'll just come and do that for you.
You've got some weird ass kinks, Andrew.
What do you mean? No, it wasn't
a guy come and put a shot in your ass.
Oh, it was like KP said, it was like a steroid or whatever, and then cleared it up. And then it happened again for the second time a couple years later. These only 2 times in my entire life, and we linked it to God, I can't think of it. What's the Chinese restaurant out at Fallen Timber?
Oh, sorry.
No, not product, but it's one restaurant.
Chang's?
PF Chang's, thank you. It was PF Chang's. Both times I'd eaten at PF Chang's, and then it happened. We don't know what it is because I eat Chinese food all the time. So it's not MSG or something. It's not an ingredient in Chinese food. It's an ingredient at PF Chang's. So in my entire adult life, I've only been to PF Chang's.
You heard it here first, but folks, don't go to PF Chang's or you might get shot in the ass.
No, anytime I make some food, speaking of food allergies and outbreaks, anytime I make food that has garlic powder in it, Donnie swears he gets a fever. He'll be like,
Listen.
"What did that have garlic powder in it? I think I'm fevered." I'm like, "You don't have a fever, and no, there was no garlic powder in it. I promise."
First of all,
You're fine.
number 1, I'm not sure if it's garlic powder. Number 2, food allergies are real, and when you have a reaction, it feels like. Does it feel like an instant fever for you, Andrew? Like, what's it feel like for you?
Yeah, it's
Achy, hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't remember achy. I remember itchy, really bad.
Yeah, I just get real like I just feel like I have like a flash fever, and it lasts like a half hour.
Really?
But like Ashley just has no time for it. There's just no validation.
I am very unsympathetic about it. Yes, that I will admit to that mostly because like once a week he'll be like, "I have a fever," and I'm like, "You don't have a fever." Like it doesn't even matter. It could be anything, and it just drives me like insane because I'll just feel him, and I'm like, "I know you don't have a fever," and he'll be like, "Just take my temperature." I'm like, "No,
feel my head."
Yeah, just drives me crazy. So
it's funny. Colleen is such a baby when she's sick, and I don't have time for it either. And I don't. And like Ashley said, we should give validation no matter what. We should. But I have no patience for it. And I'm like, hey, we're both sick. Let's power through. But I know, but feel me. Am I hot? Oh, you're not hot. Let's roll. We got shit to do today.
Right. Yes.
I need a glass of ice water.
Yeah.
An ice cube on your head. Let's roll.
Right.
Solves everything.
It's so funny. Speaking of which, oh my God, you guys are gonna blow your minds on this story. And I had to bring it up now because we're talking about allergies. So this 19-year-old kid ate some leftover rice and noodles.
Oh my god!
Did you hear about this story, Don?
Oh, just step
Yes.
right over one of my stories. I see how it is. All right.
Oh
Go
my
on.
god, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Well, 'cause we're talking
WTF
about,
News with Andrew Z.
we're talking I'm sorry, Chris. Hours later, doctors amputated his legs and all his fingers.
Why? What happened?
Oh, shit. Oh my god, dude, listen to this. So he's a Massachusetts college student. He'd eaten rice and chicken and lo mein from a restaurant. After that, he kind of felt some abdominal pain, and his skin turned a shade of purple. He was admitted for shock, multiple organ failure, and a rash, and his condition quickly declined.
Rash.
I feel at that point you just don't even list the rash.
He went septic.
It's redundant.
That's a later concern.
Yeah.
Organ failure, and you also got a rash. I'm
Yeah.
cool about the rash. If you can just stop my
Yes.
organs from if you can stop my organs from collapsing, I can deal with the rash. I'm cool.
Because didn't he like leave it out or something? Like,
Yes. Oh, so this is called I don't know how to pronounce it, but purpura fulminans. It's a rare complication that comes with septic shock. And what the conclusion was, it's bacteria and brings symptoms such as fever, vomiting, or whatever. It could lead to death in as little as a few hours. Yeah, he left the food out. It's some sort of toxin in the pasta and the rice that when you heat it up and then leave it out too long, then you can die. In 2008, a teenager died.
Was it P.F. Chang's?
Anyone else never eating again? Because I'm not taking that risk.
No, the lesson you learn from this, Donnie, is if you heat something up, eat it right away.
Well, I don't know how many times. Okay, I'll admit it. I don't know if anyone else will. Not in the summer, but I've left leftovers in the car, and I'm like, hey, I forgot about that pasta. But man,
in the car?
It's cold. It's cold.
If it's cold, I don't know.
Car
I would
food.
say Andrew, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I have. There might be some
summer.
things.
No, not in the summer. Not in the summer. Go ahead.
At any time. At any time. If you're not going to eat the food at that moment, you've heated it up, it's there, you've left it in the car for God knows how long, it is no
Just
longer
a day.
good food.
Yeah, not how long.
It's not even a whole
good.
day. It's just like a couple hours. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I didn't discover it a week later and be like, oh,
Look at this. Looks
Brush
good.
this mold right off.
good,
Yeah.
Donnie.
Well, this kind of changes things for me because I'm the kind of dude that there's really never any room in the fridge for like leftover pizza. So you just you leave it out. As long as you eat it for breakfast, it's fine.
I know.
But I'm gonna have to make some changes. Like I'll eat a piece of pizza in the morning. I mean, it got to the house at 8. It sat on the counter all night. It sat through the night. Grab a slice on the way to work out the box and then throw it away.
Well, because I think it's just rice. Like it's like just a rice or like a bacteria that grows on the rice or the pasta or
I'm
something.
not taking that
Is
risk.
because it could be like I don't know how many times, like for some reason when this family orders pizza, we order 4 pizzas and 2.5 are going to be sitting there at the end of dinner because everyone eats one. All the girls eat one piece, and so it'll sit there all night. And you don't have room in the fridge for all this pizza, so you just kind of leave it on the counter. Everyone does their thing, and you come in at midnight or you wake up in the morning. You're like, have some of this pizza. And now you're like, oh god, I have is this pizza good enough to have my legs cut off? And I'm thinking, well, it depends. Definitely
The
not
answer
little
should always be no, but I don't know.
Oh my God.
So
well,
Good tagline.
If it's good shit, then you take the chance.
I feel like after this, whenever I cook, I'm just gonna set an alarm to put my food in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna take that super seriously. I'm gonna run.
I'm gonna have constant burns in my mouth because I'm not eating anything under 200 degrees.
Making sure the shit is hot. But just what a crazy story. So anyway, this kid, just to finish up the story, he had to again go to the hospital, had both his legs and all of his fingers amputated. His roommate also ate the leftover food, but vomited and didn't have all the life-threatening reactions that this other guy did. They both ate the same stuff, but it didn't. It only happened to the one guy.
Bulimia saves lives.
wow.
Oh my
Oh my God, you guys, So
No, T-ful.
this actually, Ashley has like a saying, like she doesn't think you should ever like stop yourself from like barfing. Like if it's meant, if you're supposed to barf, just do it. So this dude, this other one kid was like, oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna go make it happen. The other kid probably held it in. And it got worse.
No, that's like, that's like Donnie. Whenever he's like nauseous or thinks he's gonna puke, he's like, "Can you get me Nausine?" Like, I'm like, "No, you need to get it out of you. Like, if you feel nauseous, get it out." And this just proves my point once again. Go ahead, Dave. Say it.
I agree, though.
I'm right. Wait, hold on. You gotta say it.
2008.
Vomit free. Oh, go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead and say it. You have to say it. Ashley, you're right.
You're right, babe. Ashley, you're right. This proves it.
The computer cut out a little bit. Say it one more time.
And she hits the record button. That's going to be her ringtone when you call her from now on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ashley, you had something on your Facebook page that I thought was kind of interesting about your kids and going out for a walk on their own as they start to get older.
Yeah.
What was it?
So yesterday, Melania's friend came over. So Melania's 10. She's our oldest. And her friend came over from the neighborhood and was like, can Melania come out and play? And I was like, but before I even asked Melania, I said no, because I knew she's like one of the girls that walks around the neighborhood. And I'm just not ready for that yet with Melania. So I was like, no, she's not allowed. So Melania came downstairs and she was super upset. So I was like, okay, we'll text her mom and she can walk down here. And then we got into this huge argument about how she wants to walk. She thinks she should walk around the neighborhood. We've been having this discussion for like months. And I just, I'm like, no, I don't think you're ready. Like, I don't think you're responsible enough. I don't think you know what to do in a scary situation. And she thinks she's ready, of course, because when we're 10, we all think we know what's best for us. So I let her, after her beating me down for 40 minutes, I let her walk down the street and then walk back with her friend. And when she came back, she was even more pissed than she was before because I embarrassed her and her friends can walk around the block and she can't. And now everyone's going to think I'm a bad parent. That's what she told me yesterday. And I was like, I said, well, that's okay if they think I'm a bad parent. I know I'm not a bad parent. I'm just trying to keep you safe, Mm-hmm. So I asked the question on Facebook because I know, there's a lot of moms and people love giving their opinions on Facebook. So
no,
really, right.
But the general consensus, I think, was on the same level that I'm at. Like, no, I don't. Like, it definitely depends on your neighborhood, I guess. But even then, I'm like, it really doesn't depend on your neighborhood because anywhere, anything can happen. And maybe I'm just overthinking it. But, I mean, truly, it doesn't matter. It can happen anywhere.
So the two 10-year-olds wanted to go by themselves and just take a walk. And you're like, not without adult supervision.
And when I was a kid, we were literally running around this. We lived in a tiny town, but we would be gone all day without anyone checking up on us, which is
at 10,
but
I think it was either 10 or 11. I was being dropped off at Disneyland with my friend by my mom at 8 a.m. to get there for the 9 a.m. open, and she'd pick us up at midnight in front of Disneyland when we were done. And we would just sit at Disneyland all day long. Go ahead, KP. What were we gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna not Disneyland. I got to go around the block when. but I mean, the times are just so different now, and I don't know necessarily what it is. If it's just like the consequences of what happens to parents now if something does happen, you know what I mean, and their kid is 10 or whatever the whatever age. I mean, I'm not a parent, so I don't know how, when that transition kind of happened, if it came with technology, if it came with just more information. I really don't know, but I remember the only time we weren't allowed to go, I mean, we could go around the block, but it was just we lived in a smaller place and we couldn't go around the block at night. But we couldn't go further than that. So, I don't know.
It's overreaction to stranger danger media hype from the 80s and early 90s that was never a real thing. If we're in the longest period of low crime in the history of this country, heck, the world right now, and there was a lot more crime, a lot more kidnapping, a lot more everything back when we were kids, when our parents were kids, than there is now. according to the FBI, something like far less than 1% of missing kids a year are actually taken by strangers. 98% of missing kids a year get found and returned safely home, and most of those are custody disputes.
But have you seen how cute Ashley's kids are though? So I don't know. It's very dangerous out there. Go ahead, Dexter.
Oh, sorry, Dexter.
No, it's okay. No, so I'm a 35-year-old man, and there are some parts of New York where currently I wouldn't take myself around the block. So I can only imagine, Ashley, what you're feeling for your 10-year-old.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. And I told, well, speaking of missing kids, that's what I told Melania. I said, next time we're at Walmart, I'll show you the wall of all the missing kids. She goes, she said, those are only in Ohio. And I go, so what? They're still missing. And she was just like, I still couldn't win the argument. But
KP brings up a great point in the fact that just think about this. God forbid something were to happen and you let your kids go for a walk, your 10-year-old go for a walk, and something happens. Then on social media, how many parents are like, oh, you let your 10-year-old just go unsupervised, just walk around the block? What kind of mother are you? That's what you're going to hear.
Well, I mean, if you're going to adjust your parenting to internet trolls, then you've already lost the game.
It's not even just internet. I mean, it would be people in real life too that know you and probably say it behind your back and wouldn't say it to your face, but they would be like, "Can you believe Ashley of all people did that? Oh my god!" And then treat you like crap every day. So
and I was with her one time.
Not worth it.
Then that opens the floodgates, and it's like I was with her. She was drinking wine during the day.
Exactly. Exactly. Seriously. No, that's exactly where it would go. She was probably hammered, that lush.
Yeah. Her kids drive her home from the school line.
Yeah.
The 10-year-old jumps behind the wheel, pushes mom over.
and legally wise, because I don't know. At what point do officers or judges would consider that neglect, even though it's clearly not. You're being a parent and allowing your kid to have a little more freedom. And so I mean, it just gets such a gray area. At what age is that? Because there's no at 8 years old you can do this, or at 10 years old.
No, you bring up a great point. I don't even know I wonder if there is a law where you have to watch your kids constantly until the age of. I don't know what that law would be good.
Yeah, there is the only thing that is worse today than when we were kids or when our parents were kids is the fact that we just have more access to information in a 24-hour news cycle. So every incident gets hyped up to the nth degree, and so it gives you the perception that there's a huge amount of danger out there, when really, if you just let your kids play in the neighborhood and do like what my mom did, and you just had to present yourself every hour on the hour to check in.
But still, a whole hour. Anything could happen in an hour. I'm like, she walked down the street for 2 minutes, and I could see her, and I was like, "Get back." That's good.
Yeah, and first off, your mom didn't love you, Tiefel, so it's a different situation. Number two, if I show you the wall of missing children at Walmart, then tell me.
Yeah, and then compare those numbers to the actual numbers of children in the area. And you'll realize that it's not a problem.
But the thing is it just takes one time, and then that one time you're like, was it really worth it? I
know, but do you really want to govern your entire life by the off chance that something bad is going to happen? That's going to prevent you from doing so many things.
That's how I governed my whole life and how I am. So yes.
Real quick, I have to say hi to Gushin MC Gush, Gushin EMCEGUSH, following from Kenya, Africa.
Hello.
Oh, what up?
Everyone say hi to Gushin. And
hey, what's up?
What do they say?
Sorry for mispronouncing your name.
Well, you don't know. Gushin, 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 I think. I don't know. All right. So anyway, hi to Natasha as well. So I don't know if you guys channel surf like I do. Sometimes I don't. There isn't anything I feel like I'm into. Although I am into right now this crazy socialite show where she. Oh, Dexter, what is it called?
Inventingetta.
Yes, Inventingetta. I was gonna say Amy.
Yes, I was.
It ruled my life for 48 hours. I had to finish it. and then watch the interviews with her afterwards.
What's
I
got
gotta
to
write
be?
this down.
It's got to be different for you, Dexter, especially living in New York, because it happened in New York. And basically, the story, it's a true story of this girl who faked that she was a socialite, a New York socialite, and just living the high life and living off people and mansions and going on yachts and doing all this stuff. And then she ended up in prison afterwards for fraud for this whole thing. Go ahead, Donnie. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just saying I watched some of it because Ashley was watching it, and I couldn't get past the fake accent. I was just like, I kept looking for a word that sounded Russian. I was like, "There's one. Okay, there's one. All right." And it would buy me like another 5 minutes, and I'm like, "Okay, waiting for the next one that sounds right."
Listen to me, Donnie. For the first, we're 2 episodes in. The first episode, I couldn't stand her fucking accent, and I was like, "Okay, I don't know if this is her being a bad actress." Or if the girl in real life had a bad accent, so this was her playing the girl with the bad accent.
She's so good. She's so good that she has her bad accent.
Yeah, that was driving me crazy. Like, go ahead, Dexter. You want to say something?
So the accent. So this is one of the interviews that I watched.
Oh, good. Okay,
I was so
thank
obsessed.
you.
Yes.
So apparently, so the real person was born in Russia, but then she grew up in Germany, and then she learned English in Europe. And then she became a socialite in New York. So the actress basically tried to put all of these elements of her life into this accent.
Wow.
And that's why it turns out so gnarly. It's great.
Hi, KP.
I saw that on TikTok, like just that snippet of exactly what you're saying, and I'm like, what show is this? Like like, wow, that goes a lot more into acting than I.
They
like,
say fake it. They say fake it till you make it, and then when you try to do it, they charge you with fraud. I'm not a fan.
I love America's obsession with scammers right now. Like between her and Tinder Swindler. Like,
oh my God.
My day is full.
Donnie.
Yeah.
Work hard, play hard. I'm obsessed with that guy. I can't even take it.
Donnie is obsessed.
I want to hang out with the Tinder Swindler.
Who is this person?
The Tinder Swindler. KP, Missouri's. You got I don't know what's going on in Missouri. I don't know if you are on a blackout from television. But KP, the Tinder Swindler. Okay, I'm not a violent person by any means. But I swear to God, after watching the Tinder Swindler, I really wanted to take a bat to his fucking head. And I don't even have that in me, but he's just so callous and was just these women. He would swindle these women by saying he's this rich guy, but he's a diamond guy, and that the bad guys got him, and his accounts have been frozen. So I love you. So I just need a little bit of money just to do this. And these women were taking out loans, giving him money because they thought they were in love, and he was taking the money, $10 million. I don't know. Women. Go ahead, Dexter.
So I watched it. Had the exact same reaction. And then, of course, I start researching the guy. And so now, not only is he in talks to get his own dating show, but you can currently pay him $139 for him to send you a personalized message saying my enemies are coming after me.
Is that a cameo? Oh my God. Oh my God! I just want to tell me to work hard and play hard.
Ask Andrew how long that these women knew him before they were taking out loans and sending him thousands of dollars.
People can't understand how these women would, after just a month, would think they're in love and start taking out loans.
No, I understand how after a month women think they're in love. What I don't understand is how after a month women with horrible credit and all that stuff go, oh no, this guy's in trouble. Maybe I shouldn't contact the U.S. Embassy where he is and get him help. I should just take out unsecured loans for thousands of dollars and wire it to him.
He absolutely has to. It's crypto, right? Yeah, absolutely. No.
It drives me crazy. Go ahead, Donnie.
Well, okay. First of all, going back to the cameo, Andrew, I don't know. Will you be upset if I pay this man $150 to send me a message because I'm
you
just
are
kind of
not
Irish?
Do it.
I will divorce you.
That would be amazing.
Ashley, freeze the accounts.
Yeah, seriously.
Wait,
Number one.
Donnie, what if you said, come go see my friend Donnie over at the Kia. You get a car from him. He won't swindle you like I did.
Look,
Trust
the
me,
guy-
he will get you a loan.
Look, the guy's a dick. He took advantage of people. He deserved whatever punishment he's
He
gonna
is.
get or has already gotten.
Yeah.
Oh, he
But
spent
maybe
5 months.
if after a month of knowing some random dude, you decide to take out unsecured loans and send him the money no matter what his story is, it's a little bit your own damn fault.
I'm tired of.
Love bombing at the next level. Next level
Yeah.
narcissism.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Kate. I'm tired of arguing with you, Tivo, because you haven't fucking seen it. So go ahead.
Tifa, you haven't even seen it? What the?
No.
Okay. Well, so my main problem, like, I get the money thing is like so stupid. It's just so stupid. But the most stupid thing is that she was seeing him for like a day and got on a private jet and went into another country with him. I'm like,
That's how you
who
lose
the
a
hell
kidney.
does that?
That's how
YOLO.
you wake up. That's
YOLO.
how you wake up in a-
Cinderella story.
That's how you
Looking for the
wake up in
Cinderella
a
story.
bathtub.
You know?
That's how you wake up in a bathtub in a halfway house filled with ice and a note that says to go call the doctor. That's
100%.
He doesn't have a kidney anymore.
I mean, it's amazing how many people are just looking for because they heard, oh, this worked for this person, or this person met some Saudi prince, and now she's living in a palace. Oh yes,
Right.
that could happen to me. No, it doesn't. It's not going to happen to you.
Right.
Disney has ruined women because she did. She was like, I could lose a kidney, but he could be a prince. I'm gonna YOLO it.
Right, look,
50-50.
if there were what I want to know is if there are this many desperate women out there, why did I have such a hard goddamn time?
Because you're not.
I mean, you're the Tinder
a
Swindler,
millionaire.
obviously.
You don't know the
I mean-
swindler. You don't know
I mean, if they're falling for that, they've got to fall for stuff a lot. I mean, there's a degree of stuff that they're willing to put up with.
Well,
Well,
how
you
many
just
how many
took-
women did you tell that you had diamonds and that
Yeah.
you were, this
I am
extravagant
a
human
diamond
being?
myself.
I'm
You
not
know-
gonna lie.
In the
I'm
rough?
gonna watch
In
the reality
Diamond in the
dating
Rough?
show. I'm
Wait,
gonna watch it.
What's that, Dexter?
I said I'm not gonna lie. I will watch his dating show. I have to see it now. I have to see how he does this live.
Wait, is this going to be like The Bachelor?
Because
where
you know
it's
that
just
there are
women-
going to be people that are interested in him. Like, it's going to happen. Someone's going to fall in love like that girl did and be like, he's the man of my dreams. What really quick, why isn't he going to prison too? If
Yes.
the
Did you know
Anna
what
girl
then-
does, like, why doesn't
I
he?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's actually a really
Because
good
this is
point.
the only
he's
crime
spent-
where it's okay to victim blame.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Well, he's been in prison twice so far for this stuff. It's hard for them to like put it all together because it's all different countries, it's all different things, and people are literally just giving him this money. So it's kind of illegal. It's a really hard thing to get him tied down for it. I guess at the end he only spent 5 months for fraud at the end of
I know.
that.
Yeah, he's a
that
human interest
documentary.
story. That's what it is. As long as people are going to be interested, then screw it. CBS cut a deal, or you know what I mean? Like, hey, if you come on our show, less jail time.
Yeah.
I honestly, from what I know that he's done, I don't even like. Is it actually illegal to lie to somebody to get them to give you some money? I mean, they freely give you the money without doing their research. What does it matter what you told them why you needed it?
But I mean, is it like at what
Well,
point is like a con
the
artist?
main
Like,
thing
how legal is that?
Go ahead.
Well, the
Ashley.
main thing is that he was cutting those fake checks for her. So that in itself is
Yeah.
fraud for the
Yeah,
first
that's
girl that was
fraud.
taking
Wire
out.
fraud, some sort of
the
yeah,
loans.
some sort of wire
But
fraud.
she's the one that did the fraud, though.
I know. As a-
She's the one that gave them.
He
the
was
check.
Tinder swindlered into it. It's not her
Like-
fault.
like- I feel
Okay,
like
there's
these are
another.
the- I
There's
feel
more
like these are the
victims to
same women that would fall for the scam where they get this big, huge check in the mail, and then it's like, we need you to cash it with your bank, and then you can keep this percentage of it, and then you have to wire the rest of the cash to this Canadian bank.
All right,
And I feel like that's exactly who they are.
back to Inventing Anna real quick is just go ahead, Donnie. Go ahead, finish up.
Well, there's some victims that we haven't mentioned yet for the Tinder Swindler. It's like all the people from here on out whose accounts are going to get frozen, but their loved ones don't trust him and they're not going to give him any money because he's ruined it for everybody. Like, hey, I need like $500. My account's frozen. Shut up, Donnie. I'm not falling for this. Come on, Mom. Please help me out. I need a little bit of cash.
If you keep saying Swindler, I'm gonna
He's on a bicycle.
You said Swindler like 4 times. Swindler. You're Swindler. Swindler.
I feel like he did pick his targets right, because I mean, I know like a lot of guys, they got a call from that, even from like their best friend in the world. They've known him for 15 years, and you get a call, be like, "Oh my God, I'm in danger in this country, and look, here's this picture of my bodyguard that's been hit, and everything, and I need you to wire me this money." They'd be like, "Oh, that sounds rough, dude. Hope it works out." And boom.
But that's like a friend. I have friends that would absolutely send money that you just don't have those type of friends for some reason. And what is that about you?
No, I don't have friends that'll at the drop of a hat take out unsecured loans for thousands of dollars and send me the money. I do have friends that would contact the embassy and authorities in the country that I'm in and get me help.
Good. Lucky them. Or lucky
if your enemies find you, Chris, just let us know.
All right, real quick, Inventing Anna. It took me the whole first episode, and Colleen and I are watching, and then she's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "What?" She pauses the show, pulls up her phone, shows me her phone. It's freaking. I didn't know it was freaking. What's her name from Ozark? Yeah. Ruth from Ozark. I had no idea. She looks so different to me. And everyone else is like, "Well, I knew right away. I couldn't see anything but Ruth from Ozark." I feel so stupid because it took me a whole episode to see that was Ruth from Ozark. She didn't have the accent, didn't have the curly hair, and she was.
She was an actress? It's crazy. Crazy. How that happens.
Amazing.
I had no idea. So if you watch Ozark, you definitely want to watch Inventing Anna.
I think that's why it was for me to get past her horrible accent, because like I wanted her to be Ruth. Like I needed that Southern accent for her.
And by the way, speaking of which, Ozark coming back April 29th, season 4, part 2 just got announced. April 29th. God, that's such a good show. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Andrews in the Morning. We're here. And if you can, just share the broadcast. If you can, just comment. If you can hit some hearts and some likes and do all that stuff, we'd appreciate it. Good morning, Brenda. Thank you so much for checking us out as well. All right. There was this other story that I wanted to get to. Oh my God. Speaking of television, real quick. I don't know if you've watched this. I don't even know when this started. Or I don't think I finished. I started the story. How we were just channel surfing, and on A&E there was a show, Adults Adopting Adults. I'm sorry, and it premiered January 31st. Adults Adopting Adults on A&E. And I'm like,
sounds interesting.
Sounds like what we've done to each other.
More.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this, Colleen? She's like, I don't know. So we watched 5 minutes of the first episode, and it was the dumbest thing ever. Like this couples would adopt 25-year-old people from they're like, hey, let's adopt this person, and they would come stay at their house. And I couldn't tell if it was a swinging thing. I couldn't tell if it was I didn't know. So anyway, the show's on A&E. It's called Adults Adopting Adults. It's been abruptly canceled because of the online backlash. They filmed 10 episodes.
Wow. Imagine.
They filmed 10 episodes. This Monday was supposed to air. Only 3 of them aired. And one of
it was canceled as he was watching it.
The screen just went black. So one of the ones was and the storyline involved Danny Huff, who's a 59-year-old from Ohio, as he attempts to make 20-year-old expectant mom Elena part of his family. Huff is married to a woman named Christy, who's openly much less enthusiastic about the adoption. She's going along for the ride. Like, she loves this dude. He's adopting this 20-year-old girl, and she's like, what the fuck? She's holding a sign at the airport, welcome Elena, or whatever the fuck her name is. And I'm like, this poor woman, but she's obviously not happy about it. So he explained early on that a previous attempt to adopt an 18-year-old hadn't worked out because he developed feelings for the young woman.
Well, he caught the feelings.
Oh God!
What in the
such
world?
A weird show, dude. I didn't even know this was a thing where adults actually adopt other adults.
It's actually a fairly common thing in the U.S., but it's usually more toward the fact that, like, hey, you're my stepfather. You've raised me this entire time, and so I want you to adopt me so I can have your last name and that sort of thing. For whatever reason, you didn't adopt me when I was younger. But now that I'm an adult, I can make that decision. I want you to adopt me, sort of thing, and that happens all the time.
Well, yeah,
adopting 18-year-old girls from other countries for That is not a common thing.
No,
This sounds more like Sister Wives.
but it's common enough that they made a show about it. Like they Annie had heard about this. It goes on, and I had no idea that this type of shit went on. And I'm like, Colleen, can we adopt a 20-year-old girl? She's like, she's like,
I'm sure that went over like a turd in a punch bowl.
Yeah,
she beat the shit out of you after you said that
at all.
Go ahead, Tivo.
How comfortable is the couch, man?
Yeah.
I know. My back is still hurt, and it was a week ago.
Is it bad that the only reason why I knew like adopting adults was the thing from what is it? It's Ryan Reynolds and movie The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Anybody seen that?
No,
I've seen them all.
Is it good?
Yeah. I loved it, but at the end, that's the only. I'm like, wait, he's an adult. That's a thing. Like I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a thing. Dude, Annie, like they only do these shows because there's there's like hoarders or there's people out there like this. So it's not like one. This is a thing for some round.
Or they're just highlighting a really rare thing to have a salacious show about.
Dude, they had like 20 different couples that they were highlighting on
out of over 300 million people.
Well, I know. I mean, it's still
oh God, Tifo and you and your statistics. Oh my God. I mean, I love you, but please.
Go ahead, Dexter.
I just want to know what the adoption ceremony is like. Like, is there like a color you wear? What food is served? Is alcohol allowed? Like, I don't know. I want to know what that's like.
It's funny. There's the one guy on there, and then he's having a conversation. They put on speakerphone with his brother, and he's like, "Man, he's like, I don't care if you don't get it, man. I adopted her. It's all good." His family's like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? What is wrong with you?" Anyway.
And then what happens after like you're adopted? So what? Now I'm 25 and you have to tell me when to go to bed. Like, what? Go to your room. Like, oh, no.
Exactly. All right. And by the way, congratulations to Jeep workers of Toledo. Profit sharing has paid off for them this year. They will be receiving it. All Toledo Jeep plant workers will be receiving a check for $15,000, and the Tinder Swindler would like to speak to you.
Wow.
I gotta call Denny up. I got an investment opportunity for him.
Right. I already hit him up. Those payments to the 43,000 North American employees will be made on March 11th. The company said it's the largest profit sharing amount in 35 years, which, man, Jeeps are hot. Everyone loves Jeeps. Like that is like the hottest car right now. Everyone's dream car is some sort of Jeep. So it just,
I just helped someone get one the other day.
Did you?
Black Cherokee. Oh yeah. All blacked out wheels.
Ooh.
Like the emblems. It was sweet.
Morning, Joel Byers. Good morning, John Tursky. I think John and I are going to do a psychic show later on today if he's available. So I'm going to reach out to him. All right. It's time for.
He already knows.
Oh, Tivo, that was a good one. It took me a minute, but it was good.
Anyone else got anything they want to talk about before we turn it over to Tifo for WTF News? Anyone else got anything? No? Okay. All right. Tifo, it's time for WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to start off with a guy losing his legs and fingers because of noodles, but somebody decided.
That story was too big to bury it, man.
All right. Well, Girl Scout Troop 709 in Carlisle they learned a very important life lesson. They set up shop outside of a Hy-Vee grocery store in Des Moines. And we're selling their cookies, which I don't know if you realize right now, their Girl Scout cookies are actually in low supply right now. The supply chain issues have hit the Girl Scouts hard.
They've hit the Girl Scouts.
All right. And so really, your Thin Mints, they're as good as gold right now. And so they set up and they're selling, and they were also accepting donations and things. And they had their little cash box there, and there was a teenager in line acting like he was interested in buying some cookies and things, and then all of a sudden he just grabs the cash box and a couple boxes of cookies and runs.
Who does that?
He hit the Girl Scouts? You don't hit the Girl Scouts? Come on, man.
But which cookies did he swipe?
Right.
It did not say. But he got away with about $200 in cash. They're still looking for him. He was wearing a red hoodie, a black mask, a camo green backpack on there.
So-
But the Girl Scouts are being real troops about it. They're saying it was a life lesson for them. They learned some important things on there. So, still trying to pull the good out of the bad.
But
He got away with $200 in cash and 4 boxes of cookies worth $4,000.
I need some tag-alongs right now.
I ordered some, so I'll give them to you for about $50 if you.
If you get them.
That was-
Have you ever ended up with them?
Inflation's a bitch. No,
That's what I
I'm
talked to
kidding.
Denny about the investment. I'm like, Denny, $15,000 in Girl Scouts cookies. I'll double the money for you.
Oh man, Tinder Swindler.
Swindler.
The tag along swindler.
Tag along Swindler.
Go ahead, Tivo.
All right, well, we'll take you over to California, where 47-year-old James Langdon of Los Angeles found himself arrested 3 times in a 16-hour period. Originally, officers observed him jaywalking, and when they attempted to stop him to give him a warning, he ran. They, of course, pursued. When they caught up with him, he resisted, so they ended up arresting him for obstruction.
He resisted the warning.
They arrested him for that. He then complained of a medical issue, got sent to the hospital. He was then released at the hospital with a citation and all that stuff. And then later on, officers got a call that same day later on saying that there was a trespasser at a local business. Upon arrival, officers found him. Apparently, he had been trying to access an area of the business using a screwdriver, and an employee happened upon him. And then when he refused to leave, they called the cops. So he got arrested for trespassing, got processed, and released on that charge. Then,
What a goober.
then later on that night, about 7 p.m. Then later on, about 7 p.m. that night, officers responded to a break-in call at an apartment building. The apartment owner came home. Their door was ajar. Things were askew inside their apartment. They could see, and they could hear someone yelling inside. So they called the cops. The cops showed up. They found James wandering the hallways. When he saw the officers, he ran back into the apartment that he had broken into, barricaded himself inside. Officers set up a perimeter and began negotiations with James to get him out. He ended up causing about $6,000 in damages to the apartment, and that one he did not get released on. And that was his final arrest of the day.
What city was this in?
Glendale, California.
Because I just want to commend the police department of Glendale, California, for running the operation like a Chick-fil-A. I mean, they're getting this guy in and out. It's like, how else can I book you?
Well, California has
hours usually.
California has emergency rules in place when it comes to smaller, lesser crimes right now, where it's just kind of just released on no bail for just smaller, like trespassing, things like that kind of charges. So
It sounds like he wanted to go to jail. He was like, "Will you just finally arrest me and put me in jail, please? Stop letting me go."
Escalating.
Yeah.
It was his day off. He was bored.
Yeah.
Yes. I want that moist sandwich for lunch. Come on.
If he put this much effort into like an actual job, he'd be
Right?
CEO of a company. If you were this dedicated,
Right.
this much.
no
effort.
No adrenaline rush, though. What's the point?
That's true. That's
Right.
true. All right, one more Tifo, right?
Actually, I got 2 more.
Oh, sorry.
Because I always do secretly have a backup in case you decide to step over my stories like you did this morning.
Of course he
It
does.
would take you over to India, to the Indian state of Karnataka, where private schools have had enough, and they have now started instituting dress codes for parents. They got sick and tired of parents showing up in house clothes, track suits, things of that nature, and they have now decided if you're gonna come to the school and drop your kid off and pick up your kid from the school or come to events, you have to abide by the same dress code they do.
Wow, that is rough. There's times where you're battling all morning, you get this damn kid dressed and in the car, and you don't have time to get you both dressed because she's acting ridiculous. And I'll go in some slippers and pajama pants for sure. Now I have to have a dress code.
Well, as a dad, I feel like there's a little bit of me that wants to just be a little outrageous just because I know it bothers Ashley, and like you want to give people a reason to talk. Like she posted on Facebook the one time, I think I wore it was like the winter time, I wore shorts and like tennis shoes and Cookie Monster socks on purpose.
Nice.
And she took a picture of it. I was like, come on, man, let me just see how high can we raise this bar, or how low can we raise the bar, I should say.
I love trying to embarrass the kids when I drop them off, like open the door and then open the door of the car and I'll start yelling stuff. Hey, bye, love you, and roll down the window and they're like, stop. Go ahead, Dexter.
Oh, I love the part where they're saying not only, is there a dress code now for the parents, but the dress code is that of the kids. So I remember when I was in middle school, like I think our dress codes, we had to wear a specific like white polo with like these like pleated jeans, which is just a crime in itself. Yeah. So I want to see like dad, like in that like kids uniform, like just to come up and approach the school.
Yes, I'd like to order the school uniform in the corduroy slacks in size 42, please.
I love the idea though. I mean, I also love to wear comfy clothes and I do often, but like I always just wish that it was like the 50s or the 40s when women like wore dresses everywhere. Like I just think that that's like fancy and cool. And I wish that it was cool to do right now. No, Donnie always says do it, but I'm not gonna like be the only one.
No, I would agree with that though. Like there's certain eras that are like, I kind of wish that we still did this, but I'm also really happy that I don't have to put that much effort into waking up in the morning.
Right. Exactly.
It's kind of a little of each, but I agree. Like you look at the old school like pictures of men and they have like those cool overcoats on with that cool the cool detective hat and man,
it's called a
everybody
fedora.
was looking snazzy.
You can wear a fedora if you want, Andrew.
What? And then in the airport you would like you see old pictures of people on airplanes and they were all dressed up to the nines.
Yeah, they also had
smoking cigarettes.
They also had leg room and full meal service and everything. Yeah, they weren't crammed into a 747 like a sardine.
Nowadays it's just flip flops and socks and comfy pants all in the airport.
Leggings every day of the week. Like I don't even know who I was telling the other day, but I usually wear black leggings to drop the girls off at school, and I'm like was telling one of my friends, I'm like, I promise you these are a different pair. I'm not wearing that I wore the last 4 days. Promise.
I'm not making that promise.
Hey, you can do a lot with black leggings.
Cool. I wear black leggings and people freak out. It's freaking
well. A couple years ago, I think Donnie tried it too. We tried to start the meggings trend.
I wore them the other day around the house, and everyone was offended. I'm like, you guys,
Dexter, I think you could do meggings. You could do it.
So I actually have before. Not gonna lie, and it is. I will say it is very freeing.
Yeah,
yes.
love it.
Sounds restrictive.
The problem is Donnie P in leggings sets an unrealistic standard for other men. We don't need him being the trend center on this.
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Exactly.
It's like me if I weren't to wear a shirt out. So sorry, babe, you're not allowed to do that.
I'm not allowed to wear in the house.
All right, we take you back to California, where Hank the Tank is on the loose.
Oh.
Hank the Tank is larger than your average bear, weighing in at just around 500 pounds, and he has a taste for human food. He has learned how to use his strength and size to break down garage doors, front doors, crawl in through windows in order to get at that delicious human food. And he also he's just not afraid around humans at all. The normal bear prevention tactics have not been successful against him. Beanbag shots, non-charged taser shots with the clickety-clack, but without the electricity that normally scares away bears hasn't worked. Sirens haven't worked. But he has foregone hibernation this year. Because he has a steady supply of food, and that steady supply of food is in your house.
I don't know what that's so
and he's gonna get to it.
He's like, "Fuck, man, I'm not staying in that tree."
Yeah, authorities are afraid that euthanasia will most likely be the result once they end up catching him, just because of how comfortable he is around the human population.
Just leave out that day old lo mein and rice. Give that to him.
Yeah.
I'll take care of his ass.
You'll see his ass crawling up with no legs. Sorry, that was probably too soon for that.
Peter's
one.
gonna come after us now. Good job.
I know. All right, Tiefel, thank you so much. That is the WTF news. All right, before we go, Ashley, do you want to give us a little thought for the week?
Oh shit! I didn't. Oh darn it! I didn't do it. All right, let me see. Let's see. What can I come on?
KP got your back. Go ahead. KP, give us a little, let us go out on a high note, KP.
KP looks like a deer in the headlights right now.
Hold on. I have a badass button.
Uh-huh.
Do what you love.
You hear?
Oh, I love it. Do what you love.
Create your reality.
Says, do what you love. You create your reality.
Feed fear a suck it sandwich.
Feed fear a suck it sandwich.
That's my favorite.
What is it?
I like that.
Feed
fear a suck it sandwich.
It's a badass button that one of my clients gave me that came with some other stuff, because I have this book that I was literally about to reach for before I saw this button. It's You Are a Badass. And it was like a self-help book. It just helps build confidence, all this kind of stuff. So this is from those same people, and yeah.
All right, everybody, feed fear a suck it sandwich this week. Don't let it.
All right, that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna let my kids walk around the neighborhood because I'm feeding fear a suck it sandwich.
Yes. I agree.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody. KP, Tiefel, Ashley, Donnie, Dexter. You guys awesome. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye everybody.
Bye. I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo Digital Media. Come on!